Hello YouTube. I'm just taking a little break out from my trip along this road. This is the A1M and I'm going to do my video. Today it is Wednesday the 13th of September, and for the third night in a row I'm going to end up at home tonight. I haven't made much money today. I've done 2 jobs. Sort of, to some extent, I'm using this week as an experiment to see if I was to just do no tramping, what would be the effect on my income. And I think it'll be reduced, and I'm pretty sure it will be reduced. Yeah, so it's a useful experiment to do. I'll see how it goes tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last chance I could do any tramping out. But we'll see what happens. So for today, I didn't have a job this morning when I woke up. I had the feed on and was looking for jobs from around about 8 o'clock, I think, 7:30. And I've started bidding. Let me just look at my bids. What was my first bid? My first bid this morning was at 7:30. And that job got cancelled. The next job got cancelled at 7. On 7 o'clock. No, next one got cancelled. It was at 7:39. So actually, the next one got cancelled as well. The first 4 that I bid on all got cancelled. So the first one that I bid on that got rejected, as it were, was put on the system at 8:10. So that was from Boston to Harlow, midi van, 115 miles. I bid 150. I didn't really want to go towards London. Once I had a few of those, I had a feeling today I wanted to avoid London, so I didn't really bid anything going that way. I wanted to get myself up to Doncaster, which was really what I was aiming to do today somehow. I wasn't necessarily in a rush to do it. I could have been quite circuitous, but I was trying to get there by the end of the day at least. And the first job that I did win was from Grantham to Warwick. So it's sort of going, I think it was going west, but it's pretty much, it's south as well, southwest from Grantham. So I picked up my job from Grantham. I had to be there for 10:10. I got given the job at about 9:30, and I got there at 10:10. It's dead on time. The mileage on CX was 78 miles, and I bid £80. And it's for a small van job. So I picked that up, made my way towards Warwick, and quite a few jobs were picking up along that journey. So kind of Grantham, Nottingham, Derby, Leicester. You know, there's quite a lot of work. And I have got one thing that I wanted to, which I think I learnt today. And I'm not certain about this, but I'll share it with you. I'm quite used to bidding in areas where there's not a lot of competition. So my home location kind of covers Grantham, Boston, Wisbech, Kings Lynn, Peterborough, Spalding, Stamford, Bourne, I suppose Corby as well. Don't usually get stuff at Corby, Oakham. And there's not, in the morning, there's certainly not a lot of drivers there. And today I noticed that in Boston, I was the closest driver to Boston. And I must have been about 30 minutes from Boston, and there was no one else showing as available. The closest person was Kings Lynn. There's about 2 or 3 people at Kings Lynn this morning. This was about 8:30 in the morning. Now, I don't believe that there was no other drivers closer. I just think they didn't have their tracking on. So I had a bit of a false sense of security that I could bid on the jobs that were in Boston and get them at a high rate. So I bid on all the jobs that came out of Boston, there was 3 of them that came out quite early on. I didn't get any of them, at least before I got the one from Grantham at 9:30. So I probably need to learn from that if I want to get a job, is to be not quite so ambitious if I'm going to try and go too high if I think I'm the only person around. But the reason I mention this is where I was in Coventry and Warwick and Leicester, kind of going down, I had a look at each area, and Nottingham when I came back up, and when I got to those areas there were loads of drivers available, and it just felt really competitive, and I'm not used to having that much competition for jobs. So I think maybe that's why some people are finding it tough. If you're in an area where there's a lot of drivers, then maybe you're not getting as much per mile as I can get where I am. I'm sure that is the case. That makes perfectly logical sense. I tend to find if I wait for a couple of hours, there's usually all the drivers have been used up in my area, and I can then get a good job at a decent rate. And then when I get out about the country, I tend to do long jobs and get a decent rate, or I do shortish jobs for a minimum amount. So I think there is scope for different strategies that will work. Obviously one day can be different from another day. You can't guarantee any strategy is going to work on the day, but I seem to think I wouldn't probably want to live in somewhere like Coventry or Birmingham, or where there's lots of work but there's also lots of drivers. Anyway, it takes getting used to, I think. So I thought I'd get a job really easily when I got to Warwick, and I did get one, but it wasn't really easy. So I dropped off in Warwick and finished my load at about 12:20. So still plenty of day left. And I was looking at trying to get myself up towards Doncaster somehow, and I put quite a few quotes on, and in the end I did get a job, but it was from Leicester going to Nottingham. So the actual job itself was 37 miles. So I put my minimum amount for a long wheelbase job, which was £50, which I got. The actual van they wanted was a short wheelbase. So I made my way dead mild. It was only about 15 miles, 20 miles to Leicester, and then got paid for the Leicester to Nottingham run. By the time I finished that, it was only an hour, just over an hour to go to do the actual work, but I'd finished and unloaded by 3:40, and I thought I had plenty of time now to try and find a third job and see where it took me. And there were a couple of really juicy jobs that came up from one was from I think it was Boston to Prestwick, I think it was, and there was another one from Kings Lynn, somewhere really far away. I think it's Plymouth. And I thought both for the following morning, but I just couldn't really get myself back home. I couldn't really justify going home without getting another job at least. So I was trying to find a job getting home, ideally via Doncaster. And in the end, I decided, it being 20 to 4, I had an hour and 10 minutes to get to Doncaster. I thought I'll just do that. I'll just go up to Doncaster, dead mile it up there, look for jobs on the way up and see if I can get anything, and if not, see if there's a co-load going back down. And that's what I did. I went to Doncaster, got stuck in some traffic, so rather than getting there for sort of 5 o'clock, it was more like 10 past 5, and I picked up my load, and then I made my way out of there about 5:45 on the way down towards home. And my plan is to stay at home, sleep there, and then take my load down to High Wycombe tomorrow morning, and then see what High Wycombe gives me. Now, I do know that if I leave really early, let's say, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'll be finished before 9. No, if I leave at 6:30 or 6 to 6:30, I'll be finished before 9 in High Wycombe, and I've got a better chance of getting a job away from there at 9 o'clock. If I do what I'm probably going to do, which is leave at about 9 or 10, let's say 9, I won't be there till 11:30, and the chance of getting a decent job back will be much less. So will I get myself out early tomorrow and increase my chances of getting a job, or will I take the chance of having a lie-in and take a chance? I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to do. We'll find out tomorrow. So that's really it. I haven't got another job. I'm not going to get a co-load this time. It's 6:45 now. I'm in this traffic on A1M. Oh, it's moving actually quite well now. It's interesting. Maybe the traffic's gone down a bit. So I'll get myself home, and then I will finish off tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow I'll end up being at home at night, or maybe I won't. The only thing that happened today that's of any sort of interest is I had another shipper trying to reduce my price, and I put on, this is one of the ones in the morning, it was going from, I think it was going from Sleaford to Grimsby, the Grimsby area, and because I was the only person in the area, even going as far as Sleaford, I thought I put on a high bid, and I put on £90 for a job that was, let me just double check how far it was, for a long wheelbase van, and it was for something like 49 miles. I'll just double check. It was for 49, well 50 miles really, bit under 50 miles. So 50 miles, £90. I mean that's a decent rate. But the reason I put that on is long wheelbases around me are quite difficult to find, and it's going to Grimsby, and I didn't think I'd get much chance of a job back from there at that time. So I put on £90, and I got a call from the shipper. It's a national shipper with local branches, and they said, could I do it for 80? And I said I couldn't, I'd like to do it for 90. So I could do it for 85. I said no, I'd rather do it for 90 because that's my price. And they said okay, fair enough, and then they hung up. Now I've got a couple of things to say. I do appreciate that £90 is a good price, but they wouldn't have rung me if there was someone else offering a cheaper price. So it is about supply and demand, and it's quite rare that you get a chance to actually get a premium price. And it's not extortionate for a long wheelbase job. It's not extortionate for 90 quid to take something first say delivery. And the second thing is, so obviously I'd framed that job as being a £90 job, and they obviously felt that was too much, but they were quite happy to come to 85. Well, if I'd framed it at 85, they'd have gone up to 80 and then said I can't go any higher. So it's just this framing thing again. I put in a bid that I think I can do the work for, they decide that's too much, and then they try and tempt you with a bit less than you put in to bring you down. Well, that's not how it works in my eyes. I put a bid in, you either take it or you don't like to take it. I was, pleasant with them. I wasn't sort of angry with them, but it is another situation where I just won't do it. I won't reduce my price out of principle. And I thought about it. I thought, well, yes, you would, wouldn't you? Because there is a situation where I would reduce my price. I want to explain what that is. If I had a shipper that gave me work every day, and was fair, and treated me well, and they had a job, and they said, well, I really can't afford what you're charging for this, can you take a bit off? If we have an ongoing relationship and it's going to carry on into the future, in that case I would consider dropping my price for that shipper, because it's about doing them a bit of a favour. It's about give and take, and so I think that's about building and keeping relationships. But you don't, in my mind, do that with someone who doesn't know you. If you don't know me, if I'm just bidding on a platform as another driver, and then you come on and you want me to do you a favour, reduce the price, well, I'm not doing that because we don't have an ongoing relationship. We're not going to have an ongoing relationship with that sort of attitude. This is actually a national shipper that I actually quite like, to be fair, and I'm guessing, although I don't know, that they must franchise out their structure, because there's a lot of their branches around and they're all very different. And this particular branch, I've done a bit of work for it in the past. I've also declined some work for the very same reasons. I think because they're the A1M corridor is my side of the country. I think they have quite a lot of work along that corridor, so it's probably where I'm coming into contact with them a lot. So it's not that I would never reduce my price even for them, but we have to have some sort of regular ongoing relationship for that to happen, and not just, you know, I've asked for it because, and this is why I think they're asking as well. So I might be wrong, but I think they're on targets. I think these people who are booking us have targets to earn a certain amount of money, and I don't think it's my responsibility to let them achieve their targets. I've got to achieve my target of surviving financially in this career. So if you've got a business model where you have to employ people that have to achieve targets to earn a living, you're going to have this sort of misbehaviour in my mind, behaviour which is, I think, in my mind, misbehaviour. So I think that's probably where it comes from. I'm not sure these people who are in these offices have ever been drivers, who know what it's like to be a driver, who understand the job. Some will do, but I don't think they all do. So whereas little shippers, or medium and smaller shippers, you kind of know, they know what they're talking about. They've probably been a driver, they probably know drivers personally, they've probably experienced the job. And I think there's a lot to be said for someone who can empathise with a driver because of their experience or their knowledge. And again, it's another reason why I like smaller, medium-sized shippers. And national ones, I think, are not really my cup of tea. So I wanted to just clarify that my principle of no reductions is not absolute. Nothing in life is absolute. But the only exception I can think of is if I know you and you're going to, you know, work my way later on in the future. Whereas this particular shipper, they won't know who I am. They might, to be fair, who knows? I might be getting a name from them for being someone who charges too much because it's the same branch that I've dealt with a few times. We'll see. I hope it doesn't get to that. I hope it's always done on the day. But yeah, so there we go. So that's all everything I want to share with you about what I've learned today. I want to keep this video a lot shortish because it's taking an age to upload them. Okay, is there anything else? Not really. I've got a few ideas for videos I need to get done. So over the next couple of weeks I will get those done, hopefully. I keep promising I'm going to talk about various things and I don't do them. I'm going on holiday in October, so September's my last full month where I can really get some decent money in. Oh yeah, so yeah, I was going to say autumn's coming, but today was a really nice day again. So my last video was to tell autumn's coming because of the time, because it is getting darker quite quickly now, and there was a chill in the air yesterday and it was raining a lot. Today was a lovely day. Right, I'll get myself into that traffic and then get home. So thank you very much for listening. I'll try and catch up with my comments today as well. There's a few comments I need to catch up on. So people have very kindly commented on my videos. I really appreciate that. I'll try and give you some responses to them. Right, enjoy your week. Hope it's all going well. Hope you're making money and keeping your health. What have you learnt today?